Nope.
Said thanks for the
Deal's nigh on.
The night's
Crazy prices.
And now on channel 3.5. That Thing There.
Hi, and welcome to That Thing There, the show about stuff and things. This week, we'll be taking a look at Sony's first offering into the gaming world. This is the PlayStation 1. And we'll be taking a look at some of the latest technology, these folding computers. Not only do we have games and technology galore, we also have our weekly challenge and some tips, cheats, and tricks on the latest games from the Pink Knight.
Bring me your weak, unhuddled gamers.
So, let's get into it. Welcome, stranger. Today we're going to talk about some old Sega Genesis / Mega Drive games to see if they hold up like they did back in the day. Let's go! Yeah! The first game is Codemaster's 1994 Gearhead Racer Micro Machines 96.
The Micro Machines are back, souped up and turbocharged, loads of new motors, and you can get stuck in a 65 chaotic courses. Micro Machines 96 on Mega Drive, not for people with one-track minds.
So when Micro Machines 96 came out for the Mega Drive, there had already been a few Micro Machine games on the console. However, this had something different called the J-Cart. It was the first time, at least in memory that I know, that you could play a 4-player game. Because as well as the 2 little controller ports, the cartridge itself had an extra 2 ports for 4-player games, which was so much fun in 1996. But going back and playing it today, unfortunately it doesn't hold up whether there is 1 player or 4 players. The game itself is really a fun concept. The problem is, to win points in a head-to-head race, you have to drive so far ahead of the other player that you come off the edge of the screen, which means as you're trying to drive, you can't see ahead of yourself, which makes it that much more difficult. A lot of the time playing the game, there isn't really a lot of skill involved. It is just trying to stay ahead and trying to hit and hope. The graphics really don't hold up. This is barely a step above the Master System. It almost still looks 8-bit and is just barely into the 16-bit era. Although the game has a really fun track creation mode, it doesn't offer enough today to really think about going back to. Another major drawback to this game is the music and the sound effects. There are a few little tracks, but again, they sound just so 8-bit compared to some of the other games on the Mega Drive that we will review. And the sound effects really leave a lot to be desired. Every race, there's no music, there's just the sound of engines revving, and it gets really old, really fast. Unfortunately, even with 4 players, there's so many better games that you would choose to play instead. And if I was going to recommend a Micro Machines game, I would say try Micro Machines V3 for the PS1. It is still quite fun. Yes, it has some of the same gameplay issues, but this comes with hammers and missiles and great ways to screw with your friends. So all that put together, Micro Machines 96 only gets a 76% rating, so it doesn't hold up, sorry. This is Sony's brand new mega computer, the 32-bit PlayStation 1, due out in North America and Europe sometime late 1995. It comes with this very strange and unique futuristic controller. As you can see, as well as the original gamepad, there are these little shoulder buttons that you can use for, I don't know what, maybe throwing some punches and kicks in the newest game Tekken. The front also, instead of A, B, and C buttons, has these different little icons or shapes. As you can see, the graphics are a real step up from the previous generation. This is the polygonal fighter Tekken, and it's being made as a direct competition to Sega's Virtua Fighter.
Hello, citizens of Europe.
It's not all fun and games for Sony, however. American consumer group SAPS have uncovered some very disturbing aspects to playing the PlayStation 1.
It carries these telltale signs. Scientists say its effects are mind-boggling. Users lose all sense of reality and enter another world.
I'm going to ask Sony Computer Entertainment President of America, Steve Reyes, to join me for a brief presentation.
At a speech, when confronted about how many rats exploded in the development of the PlayStation, a representative for Sony had a brief message for the crowd.
$2.99.
And for now, all eyes are focused on the Sega Saturn. With its imminent release and amazing range of games from Virtua Fighter to Sonic Extreme, we really don't think a company like Sony, that doesn't have that much experience in the games creating industry, really stands a chance of standing up to the big players in today's gaming world. So, the Sony PlayStation may be here and gone before you even know it. The next game is Sega's own mega hit, known as Bare Knuckle 2 in Japan. In the Western world, we know it as Streets of Rage 2.
Where do we start?
How about his knee?
That's his face. If that's his face, what's this?
This game is an unmitigated banger. When we look at the gameplay, there's just something so satisfying about every punch, kick, throw, and special move. Streets of Rage is fun, but it doesn't have that same impact, and Streets of Rage 3 has really strayed away from the formula a little bit. But Streets of Rage 2 finds this absolutely perfect blend of action, speed, and skill. The difficulty is just about right. There's such a variety of enemy types that keeps you coming back again and again to see if you can do better in the levels. To play casually, especially with a friend, is still a really fun experience. For a Mega Drive game, these graphics hold up extraordinarily well. You ask anyone about the Streets of Rage days and you show them a little pixelized form of a Galcio with his little knife, and they know what that means. From giant enemies to fast enemies to the way the streets look is absolutely glorious. Yes, some of the water textures can be a little bit funny, but the zones that you move throughout the game just give you this amazing 90s cinematic feel. The soundtrack for this game is absolutely immaculate and timeless, easily the best soundtrack on the Mega Drive and possibly one of the best soundtracks of all time. This music is so important and memorable that the composer today is still hosting dance events that play even deeper banger versions of these songs. Also, the sound effects are so memorable. If you listen to some funk and wave and some hip hop music, sometimes you will find little sound effects from Streets of Rage 2 that have just burrowed into the millennial brain, that as soon as we hear those little effects, we know exactly what it is. I think the hold-up ability of Streets of Rage 2 can be shown how the more recent game Streets of Rage 4 has been received. Streets of Rage 4 takes all the best things from Streets of Rage 2, gives it a whole new glow-up HD design, but still has most of the same gameplay elements just slightly expanded. And as much as Streets of Rage 4 is an amazing game and I would rate that really highly, if you put me back to Streets of Rage 2, it is just as much fun as the game that was released in the past few years. Streets of Rage 2, I think, is the ultimate banger of the Mega Drive era. There is no game that can touch it, and there's no beat 'em up that has come since that has matched this game for style, gameplay, fun, and fun with friends. I'm giving this game a 99% rating because it was the best game on the Mega Drive, and if you haven't played it, I recommend you play that immediately. If you're in retro games, this is one you can't afford to miss.
You child, what do you ask of the Pink Knight?
Pink Knight, can you help me? My friends always beat me at Mortal Kombat 2, and I want to teach them a lesson, but I don't know what to do.
Ah, you wish to spill blood and crush your enemies. Good. Let me make this simple for you, child. Choose the character Luke. When you finally crush your enemies, humiliate them with a death move. Get up nice and close and press down, forward, back, high kick. And you will turn into a dragon and eat your opponent in half. Beautiful! Now be gone, child!
Now it's time for one of the highest selling games in all of Mega Drive's history. Sega's mascot himself, this is Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Has it got huge new zones? Yeah!
Hey, come on!
Sonic Series Seishin Saku, Sonic and Knuckles, lock on!
This number one is El Screamer, attitude and power sneak.
Sean!
Mucho Will, pocos knuckles, ese es mi campeón!
Sonic 3 sur Mega Drive.
Let's talk about a genuine S-tier classic. Both Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 were amazing games. Sonic Spinball and Sonic 3D were absolute trash. But the real magnum opus for the Sonic franchise was Sonic 3 and Knuckles. As much as these games came out separately, being able to use the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge to put in the Sonic 3 game or other games that get special bonus levels was a really crazy concept at the time. Being able to put the two games together and create a 14-zone mega adventure for 90s kids who were really trying to get as much replayability out of our games because there wasn't that many games, a lot of games sucked, a lot of games ended too quickly, a lot of games were too hard. Sonic 3 and Knuckles had that perfect blend of playability, length, and possibility. From the multifaceted levels, to the bonus stages, to the mini games, to the two-player modes, plus adding on new features like bonus boxes for flame, water, and electricity, which added new gameplay elements. For many Sonic fans, this was as good as it would ever get. This is a game to this day that I can still pick up and play for hours and complete from start to finish. And the levels are so huge that there's areas I'm still discovering to this day. In terms of graphics, for a Mega Drive game, I think they're perfect. I don't think there's anything more that you could get out of the sprites that were created. Every single pixel has its place. Every level is beautiful and unique. And in comparison with the entire Mega Drive's life cycle, I don't think there's too many games that you could genuinely say had quite so much attention to graphical detail, so much that it still holds up today. Sonic 3 and Knuckles probably has the best soundtrack out of any Sonic game ever. I don't know if that was because of the potential influence of Michael Jackson on some of the tracks, but every single song is a bop. It's hard to tell whether Mario or Sonic were bringing out better songs at the time, but both of them have so many memorable tracks. And I think if you were to take any millennial and play any song from that game, someone would be able to tell you what it is straight away. Plus the sound effects are absolutely timeless and I still see them being used today. This game holds up absolutely beautifully. We can see the influence of Sonic 3 and Knuckles on the more recent Sonic Mania, and we can see how it took the design of Sonic 3 and added on a few new gameplay elements to create this new experience. But I think if you were to ask most Sonic fans, they would still say Sonic 3 and Knuckles is a better game. And the reason I think Sonic Mania did so well is because it holds true to the vision of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. There's been a lot of Sonic games, 3D games that have come out that people really love, but for me, Sonic will always be a 2D platforming side-scroller, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles is the best one of them all, without a doubt. And all of that put together means Sonic 3 and Knuckles gets an absolutely trouser-filling 96% banger game. And that's the end of part 1. Join us again in a few minutes for yet more game reviews and our challenge of the week.
Tonight on Sved.
Sved, they've killed your wife and kidnapped your sister. What are you going to do?
The same thing I always do. Thoroughly investigate.
A man torn between justice and revenge.
I find myself torn between justice and
who will stop at nothing to find the truth.
Sved, look! A note from the killer.
Tomorrow, 4 p.m., Stockholm Station, or your sister is dead. No, I've been a detective for 25 years. I know you don't spell dead with a 3. Damn it, it was our only lead!
That's Sved.
Ah!
Tonight, 10 p.m. on 3.5.
There's a craze sweeping Japan. A computer so small you can use it anywhere in the world. Boasting full access to the information superhighway and a whopping 4 megabytes of memory, it's filled with more features than Dominic Diamond's trousers.
家のゴミを清掃屋さんが持って行ってくれたのと同じですね。
3T sent me to Tokyo to see what all the fuss is about. Tonight is opening night for the release of the Muimi company's new product, the Fold 8008, and Muzosa Chaban, owner of the largest tech store in Tokyo, is putting final preparations together for the midnight rush. Don't worry if it's going to be successful. We've packaged the Fold with this new internet thing, but personally I don't understand the hype. We call these folding computers. We were going to call them laptops, but they clearly belong on a table. Outside, a huge queue has been patiently waiting for hours, along with local news crews. Yes, we're here at the launch of the Muimi folding computer to understand why consumers have chosen this product. What are you most looking forward to about the Muimi Fold? Well, as it is, I have to take my PC on the train to work every morning and evening. It's very cumbersome. What will you use the Muimi for? Looking at the furry muff, obviously. Are you excited for this new technology?
I have no idea. I was just drinking here, and I think if I move, I'm gonna fall on my face.
Muzosa-san needn't have worried. His computers are selling like hotcakes.
I've been working non-stop for 36 hours. I hope I can get some sleep soon.
I'm really surprised. People seem to love the internet feature. I'll have to find out what this furry muff is for myself. Muzosa-san quite literally leaves a moment later to check out the furry muff type situation. Oh yes, I see. Yes, I think our product will do just fine. As dawn breaks, tired workers can finally close up the shop. And Muzosa-san, on learning what the internet can really do, rushes ahead home. It hasn't gone up like this since I was a teenager. Now, don't adjust your set. This may seem like something from a science fiction movie, but I can assure you it's very real. This is what's known as a folding computer, named so, as is obvious, because it can fold. This means that it's one of the world's first portable computers. You can just close this over and you can take it with you anywhere you want to go. It also comes with this wonderful little gizmo, a fully detachable mini camera. Now, as you can see, the quality in this is top of the line. You can make everything out incredibly clearly. But this is what we really want to show you today. This is an emulator.
How dare you? We've stolen nothing, you silly old cow, and it was my long chair if...
Most companies are highly critical of these emulators, but the creators of them say that this is an opportunity to archive games for the future in case they're ever removed fully from record. But of course, games companies say that that would never happen. And I don't know, I think there's something about these emulators that speaks to the freedom of the consumer to choose what games they want to play and how they want to play them. So, I think these emulators rock. Not for the faint of heart, this is Midway's 1993 gory classic, Mortal Kombat 2.
Raging Inferno!
Friendship and Babyility の2つのRaiden Sub-Zero.
The first Mortal Kombat was an absolute marvel, but when Mortal Kombat 2 came out with the new stages, stage fatalities, new characters, new fatalities for everyone, every kid with a bloody urge and love of action movies jumped on this game as quick as possible. I remember every day at school for weeks, we would buy magazines trying to find cheat codes, trying to find the fatality codes so that we could beat each other up and get that real joy of just smooshing someone up real bad, humiliating them. And I gotta say, Mortal Kombat 2 on the Mega Drive still holds up kind of well, but having played it in the arcade recently, I see how much of a drop in quality it is from that arcade box. Now don't get me wrong, this is a really fun fighter and probably the best fighter on the Mega Drive. Yes, Mortal Kombat 3 did technically come out at the end of the Mega Drive cycle, but I think the best way to experience that is on a PS1. So I do love this game, I do love the gameplay. It's still so much fun to uppercut someone into a big pool of acid, but just because it doesn't hold up to the arcade version, and why would it, I have to dock it down a few points for how it holds up in the modern era with so much competition. Even though it's not arcade quality, the graphics are still fantastic for a Mega Drive game. There's something about seeing the live action sprites that is still really cool and still really impressive that they were able to do that at the time. And if I was comparing it to just Mega Drive games and nothing to do with the arcades, I would have to say it still holds up incredibly well. The music in the old Mortal Kombat games is so dirty and disgusting. It's so ominous. You can feel the dread coming through the bass track. I think the tracks are still memorable to this day, maybe less so, but they still hold up. And I still think a lot of people today know about all the little fun, different sound effects. And I still think the sound effects hold up really, really well. From the characters' screams to their grunts of exertion to the sounds of fireballs from Toasty. There's just something about it that makes this game a real time capsule, and the music and sound effects is a massive, massive part of that image. In terms of hold-up ability, don't get me wrong, it's a classic, but Mortal Kombat 3 and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 introduced the combo system, which took it for a game where you would hope for an uppercut or for a jumping kick, but not really being able to string a whole bunch of moves together. To go to Mortal Kombat 3 and be able to pull off these wicked combos, it's just a better game, and unfortunately it leaves Mortal Kombat 2 in the dust. I think anyone who has a real love of classic retro games would have to come and check out Mortal Kombat 2 because it may be considered the seminal experience for some, but it just doesn't, for me, have that same oomph of Mortal Kombat 3. So I'm gonna give Mortal Kombat 2 85%. It's still a fantastic game. It still holds up pretty well, but there are just better games out there. It's challenge time, so let's take it up to the Pink Knight to see what our challengers are up against this week.
My challenge this week is to complete the first level of Alien Soldier without dying once on normal difficulty. Do you think you have what it takes?
This week in the challenge booth, we have Jessica from Kinocom. Okay, Jessica, put on your game goggles, put on your headphones, pick up the controller. Are you ready, Jessica? Ready! Then let the challenge commence. Okay, and first we see Jessica here selecting a number of different weapons. You can see there's 6 weapons to choose from. And as you can see, this is a side scroller. There's a lot of really ugly aliens. That looks like something I cleaned from my shower. That looks like something I found down the back of my sofa. Those little shining diamonds are health pellets, so she'll need to get those if she wants to get to the end of the level. Oh, she's taking a little bit of damage there, so she's changing her weapons. She's living like a lizard. And here comes the boss. It's some sort of giant centipede monster. We can see Jessica's got the right idea. Kill it with fire. She's zipping across the screen as fast as she can, but she's taking some damage now. The boss hasn't taken much damage, but Jessica's nearly dead. She's hanging up against the ceiling. She's taking another hit, one more hit, and it's gonna be all over. Oh, and oh, she's been destroyed. It's all over. Oh, poor luck, Jessica. So Jessica, what do you think went wrong? Yeah, I think I did okay. Ultimately, why I lost. Well, you haven't won the coveted pink helmet today, but I hope you had a really good time. Let's everybody give it up for Jessica.
Pathetic! Be gone!
The final game is one of my personal favorites. 1993, Treasure's first entry into the gaming world. It is Gunstar Heroes.
日本全国体育会系の皆さんかかってきなさい 熱血ドドンパアクション俺たちはガンスターヒーローズだメガドライブから
Now, at the time, this was a really underground game. No one had heard of it. In recent years, it shows up in retro collections, and I think more people are starting to see this game for what it is. But for me, it's always going to be a massive underground classic. This is personally my favorite game on the Mega Drive. It's not the highest ranked on this list, it's not maybe objectively the best, but it is my favorite game because I have so many amazing memories of playing this with friends, of getting through all the levels. There's something really fun about screwing each other over in this game. You can throw the other player at the enemy and it actually does a lot of damage, so it's kind of worth it sometimes. The gameplay is so simple, but it's also fantastic. There's 4 different weapons that you can fit within 2 weapon slots, and as you mix and match them, the weapons have different properties that you can control, from homing flamethrowers to grenade launchers to electric lightsabers. A veteran can complete this game in less than an hour, but that's not to say there isn't plenty to do. The first 4 levels alone are so different, from a run and gun, to a kart race side-scroller, to a dice maze board game of death, from space battles to the amazing difficult boss rush at the end. This game just keeps delivering action moment after action moment after action moment. It's filled to the brim with bosses and enemy variety to test your skills against. And there's just something about it that's so fun to play with a friend that you can play it over and over and over again. For a Mega Drive game, I think these graphics are close to flawless. In the same vein as Sonic 3, every pixel is being used well. And I think in terms of Mega Drive games, it's the game I've seen that's had the most action, sprites, and enemies on screen at once. You can see explosions happening everywhere, and on the original Mega Drive console, there's absolutely no slowdown in frame rate whatsoever, which is incredibly impressive for the amount of action taking place. The level design is absolutely glorious, varied, and inspired from start to finish. It's a beautiful game. I think the music for Gunstar Heroes is amazing. It's so fun, it's so action-packed. It speaks to each level that you're in. The dread gets stronger and stronger to the end, where you have this wonderful, heroic soundtrack that takes you to the end. All the sound effects, I think, are so much fun. From the grunts of the players to the big giant explosions, it just sounds so much fun. In terms of hold-up ability, if someone was to ask me for a recommendation of a retro game that wasn't something really obvious like a Sonic or a Streets of Rage, and they hadn't heard of Gunstar Heroes, I would sit them down and get them to play it straight away, because I think anyone of any age can pick this game up and have fun right from the first level. It still really bugs me that there hasn't been a proper remaster or sequel to Gunstar Heroes, because I really think they captured lightning in a bottle with this game, and it just blows my mind that it hasn't been expanded upon, because I really think in terms of the indie side-scroller and shooter games that we have today, if we were to have an updated version of Gunstar Heroes, I think it would do absolutely gangbusters. And I think all the little underground people who played this game would come out of the woodwork, and we would see a much bigger fan base for this game, a fan base that it deserves from the work that Treasure put into creating this utter masterpiece. And so I'm gonna give Gunstar Heroes an absolutely Jurassic 98%. Well, that's our show. Join us next time to see the very best games that the PlayStation has to offer. See ya! And don't forget to join our call-in quiz for the chance to win a free Sega Saturn and copy of 6-inch My Darling. Just answer the following question. Is Sonic the Hedgehog A, brown, B, pink, or C, blue? Call your answer into the number on the screen, and please remember to get permission from whoever pays the bill.
Actor Oscar for his role in Richard Attenborough's film Gandhi. Julie.
Benjamin Franklin?
No,
Press stop now. Do not rewind.